If you're worried right now that Donald Trump is going to ruin America, I think your fears are misplaced because he actually might ruin the entire planet.
Donald Trump once built his entire political identity on being the voice of the forgotten working class. But now the people who put him in office are calling him out, turning away, and saying what he never wanted to hear. You failed us. But do people still hold on to some hope? Let's find out. A voter, visibly horrified, lays it out plain. Trump's policies aren't helping. They're hurting. This isn't partisan criticism, it's personal disillusionment. You can hear it in their voice, the shock of realizing the man they trusted is making their lives harder, not better.
Lou Nunez is one of two who say they regret casting a ballot for Trump.
I've never seen things go to this extreme before, ever.
He says he's horrified by Trump's cuts to federal agencies, whipsaw tariff announcements, and crackdowns on protesters.
The extreme I'm talking about is the way they went in there and just chopped people away, chopped departments away. They've actually probably done as poor a job with our allies as any president I've ever seen, ever. Trying to buy Canada. I never heard of such a thing.
And it's not an isolated case. Even his supporters are breaking ranks, saying they regret their vote. They're not speaking like political strategists. They're speaking like people who've been betrayed. They believed in his promises to rebuild the working class. Now they're watching the cost of living rise, wages stagnate, and corporate power grow while communities shrink.
Pigott was abruptly fired last month from the Treasury Department's Bureau of Fiscal Service, based here in Parkersburg, West Virginia. The reason given for the firings of 125 probationary employees at the Bureau? Poor performance.
I had my last review on the 31st of January, and I had the highest rating that you can get on a review, less than 21 days before I was terminated for my performance.
You voted for Donald Trump.
I did.
Do you regret that vote?
Yes, I do. To cut the knees out of the working class Americans just doesn't make sense to me. I expected more from President Donald Trump.
Since speaking out, Pigott says she's received death threats and her home has been egged. This woman asked us not to show her face for fear of retribution. She recently retired from the Bureau of Fiscal Service because she was afraid of losing her health insurance if she was fired. She also voted for Trump.
Would you still have supported him?
I'm not sure that I would have. The way that it's been done, I'm for balancing the budget, that type of thing, but not in this context. It's just not right.
The cracks are visible not only in voters, but in the cultural voices Trump once dismissed as irrelevant. Robert De Niro doesn't mince words. He calls Trump exactly what many now see him as, a bully. And here's the thing, that's no longer just Hollywood criticism. It's the same language now creeping into conversations in diners, union halls, and small-town gatherings. The label sticks because it matches what people are experiencing firsthand.
I hate bullies, thugs who use their strength to push other people around. They think they can achieve power and hang on to it by intimidating others. Sadly, sometimes it works, but most of the time it doesn't. And now we have Trump. He's all that, about intimidation, retribution. He's going to prosecute. He's going to send you to jail for having an abortion. He's going to take your Medicare and Social Security away. He's going to deport you. He's going to send the military after you if you defy him. You know what this shit works on? The MAGA politicians who are afraid of losing their power. They're so afraid of him, he's got them kissing his ass. And now they're trying to intimidate us. We will not allow that, not even for a minute, not even for a second. We need to show them our power and vote them all out, every one of them. The way to take down a bully is to look him straight in the eye and then watch him start to crumble. That's what Kamala Harris did at the debate where she totally dominated Trump, using her intelligence, her experience, her decency, and her actual plans to make life better for Americans. She reduced Trump to the little blustering punk that he is. Trump doesn't have a clue about anything, about how to lead. He only knows how to bully. And now, thanks to Kamala Harris, we know he can't even do that. Now is the time for all of us to stand up against intimidation. Join me in voting for true leadership for all Americans. Join me in voting for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Thank you.
Even comedians are dead serious about the damage. George Lopez makes it blunt. Trump makes everyone hate each other. It's not just political division, it's a climate of hostility that seeps into everyday life. And in an America already fractured by economic inequality and cultural battles, that's not leadership. It's gasoline on the fire.
How do you really feel about Trump?
I hate him.
Right. Have you ever met him?
Yeah, I played golf with him in 2007.
And people say that this is kind of not a different Trump, but I asked Russell Simmons the same thing. He was like, man, this guy now, you know what I'm saying? He was like, I can't.
Yeah, so he wants to divide. So for me to say I hate him, I really don't hate anybody, but I dislike him. And I never had that. Like, he creates hate and hatred and dislike. Like, that's not politics. Politics used to be about issues. It's not about.
And we still don't know what his so-called issues are.
Two of the greatest answers are when Raul Castro, when the guy stood up and goes, will you release the political prisoners that you're holding in Cuban prison? He goes, show me the list.
Right.
When they said, Donald Trump, you hire undocumented workers to work in your hotels. He goes, give me their names.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The resentment isn't confined to former supporters or cultural critics. It's in the streets of the Capitol itself. In Washington, D.C., residents don't just dislike Trump meddling in local issues, they hate it. And remember, these are people living in the country's political nerve center, watching federal overreach unfold up close. If the nation's capital sees your influence as toxic, that says everything.
Do D.C. residents actually want this?
No, they hate this whole idea. I think there's some idea out there that Trump's somehow a conquering hero, but he's in fact is welcomed in Washington, D.C. as Eagles fans are Commanders games. What are we talking about here? Well, take a look here. D.C. residents on Trump and local issues. He's too involved. Look at this. 71% say he is too involved, and this, of course, was even before Monday's actions, compared to just 11% who say they want him more involved. In fact, a majority of every single demo tested by the Washington Post in a poll earlier this year found that they believe that he was, in fact, too involved. D.C. residents hate this whole idea of Trump getting involved in local.
And now even law enforcement encounters are adding to the storm. A couple in San Diego County alleges they were stopped without cause by Border Patrol, racially profiled, and pulled over by an unmarked vehicle. This is the kind of policing climate Trump's policies encourage. One where suspicion is enough to disrupt lives, but where being tough on borders turns into being reckless with rights.
All of my life, 50 years I've been here, I've never been harassed by Border Patrol on this side of the border like this. This is outrageous.
Why are we not allowed to be here? Because we're not white? Our skin doesn't match?
That's George Doylis. He and his wife are from Imperial Valley, and they love to camp. So when they were headed up to a dental specialist in North County on Wednesday, they decided to explore Jacumba and this area around Boulevard. They headed up this road to see if they could find a campsite, and that's when they say their day took a very different turn.
We didn't think anything of it. We're an American citizens. We're on U.S. soil. Why should we be afraid?
George and his wife Esmeralda say an unmarked SUV started following them and pulled them over. They say Border Patrol agents first approached wearing masks.
So the reason why we're stopping you is because you do U-turns and there's a known alien out in the area.
He told the agents where they were going and that they did not consent to any search.
If you have a dentist appointment, it probably wasn't the best decision to be out in the middle of nowhere.
No, we have the right to travel anywhere we want to travel.
You do. You're absolutely right, you do. And I actually have the right and authority to stop you.
The couple sat in their car as the agents brought a canine.
It's called reasonable suspicion.
Do you think that they had reasonable suspicion to stop you and search your vehicle?
Not at all. Not at all.
The dog did smell a small amount of legally purchased cannabis, so they got out for a full search. 30 minutes in, the agent says he could take their vehicle, but...
I'm going to go ahead and let you off with a warning.
George and Esmeralda both voted for the first time in 2020 and again in 2024 for President Donald Trump. As they see his immigration crackdown...
Do you regret your vote?
Yes, I do. Very much so. I feel shame, guilt, and anger at the same time.
From betrayed voters to cultural voices, from D.C. streets to rural highways, the discontent isn't just growing, it's converging. The same words keep surfacing: betrayal, division, abuse of power. And in politics, once those words attach to your name, they're almost impossible to shake off. What happens when a leader loses the very people who built his movement? What if the loyalty he demanded has finally snapped? Let us know in the comment section. What if this isn't just opposition, but the beginning of the end?